Welcome to Star Media. My name is Rick Peterson, and as you can see, we have one of the two most recognized people in the world as our guest today here, and we're doing this podcast from the Star Media studios in downtown Laverne. And I can't tell you, Santa and Mrs. Claus, this is the greatest thing that's happened in a long time. I'm so pleased that you have found time in your very, very busy schedule to stop down at our studio and have a conversation with us today. There's only 14 days until the big day. We're doing this podcast on, what is it, the 12th, I believe it is? 11th, see, there we go. Anyway, so welcome. I would be remiss if I didn't say Merry Christmas. So, Santa, well, how are you doing? Are you getting ready for the big day?
Yeah, we're getting very ready. We had a busy last week, and then we came all the way down south to do this with you, Rick, and now, after this, we're on our way back to meet the elves.
Okay, and Mrs. Claus, what's your role in getting ready for the big day? Do you make a pregame meal or anything like that for Santa?
Well, funny that you should ask that, Rick. I tell you, I have went from one room to the other room to the other room where we live, and I help Santa just about every day and every night. We've got to get our gifts ready, and we put them in our little stove, and away we go, and we have so much fun.
Well, so when you say away you go, you know the legend that Rudolph led the sleigh on that very foggy Christmas Eve. Yeah. So does he lead the sleigh just on foggy Christmas Eves, or how's that work?
No, he leads the sleigh all the time.
Oh.
The other reindeer let him do his thing, and he's very happy.
Well, early on, were the other reindeer were kind of mean to poor Rudolph. And have they ever let him play Monopoly at all?
Sometimes, and then sometimes he ends up to be the caboose. He comes in last, but he still enjoys it.
So how long is the naughty list this year? Have the children been good?
Most all part, they have been very good. And you have a few, but as closer as it gets, the nicer they get.
Yes. And the brothers and the sisters, they sometimes have a little game going as to who can be the nicest. And that's always quite fun to listen to, of which one is a little bit nicer than the other one.
So, Santa, have you, sometimes you get a little portly with eating all them cookies that you have throughout your...
Yeah.
Have you ever been stuck in the chimney?
No. Okay. It's been close, but if there's one thing I can ask of the children, I would rather have them leave carrots and apples for the reindeer. Mrs. Claus and I are getting a little thick.
Oh, well.
But
I tell you, Santa, I could never say that about Mrs. Peterson, boy. I'd get whacked up alongside the head if I said something like that.
Well, you can see by looking that he is telling the truth. Yes, he is.
So, what are some of the gifts some of the children have asked for over the years?
A lot of remote gifts. Some of them want big tractors, and I try and talk them into... They want green tractors, and I try and talk them into red, and they say no. And they want to follow the tradition of their parents and have all green or all red.
So when they ask for different toys like that, asking for a farm implement, being we're in farm country USA, do you find them asking for different gifts in different parts of the country?
Very much so.
Such
Very
as,
much.
what would the children down south maybe ask for?
Down south, they love to put together, what is that, Santa? All those little games that they put together?
Legos.
Legos.
Oh.
They love Legos. Oh my goodness. I don't think Santa could ever drop off too many Legos.
Okay, so do you still get plenty of letters up at the North Pole, or are you getting more emails these days?
No, we prefer letters, and that way we can keep track. And we're not very computer savvy, you know. We're getting older, and that's for the younger generation. So we would prefer letters over emails.
Okay. What do you get Mrs. Claus for Christmas?
Well, it depends. You know, sometimes I gotta get her larger clothes and things
Santa.
like that.
And Santa loves buying me jewelry like this. I think it is easier for him than buying me clothes, because nothing is worse than Santa bringing me something home and it does not fit.
Santa. So what do you get Santa for Christmas?
Well, I always try to keep him looking his very best, so he always gets a new pair of pants and a new shirt, always for Christmas.
So have you had children ask for pets over the years, for dogs or cats or birds or snakes even? What do you say for that?
Well, sometimes when we make visits, you know, before the holiday, we always ask, you know, would you like a puppy or would you like a dog? And when we take pictures, the parents are standing in the rear and they say, no, we can't have that, you know. But there's been some that we make sure they get their pet.
So, Mrs. Claus, have you ever gone along on Christmas Eve to help Santa?
Absolutely.
Are you the navigator in the sleigh then?
Yes, I kind of am, and say, we got to stop here now, Santa, and here's the two children we're going to see here, and then we have to drop something else off. And I said, okay, Santa, I'm kind of like a scorekeeper there, so we get to the right place at the right time.
Does she ever give you the wrong directions?
Yeah, sometimes she says go that way, and then I go that way, and I'm right.
And so right is north and east is west, or
Right.
how is that?
That is correct.
Has Google Earth helped in any way like this?
No, Rudolph kind of knows where to go,
Yeah.
and the rest of the reindeer follow him.
So you deliver all over the country on Christmas Eve. I seen your sleigh. Do you have depots out around the country where you go reload again and get more?
Yeah.
Kind of like the modern day Amazon, but you've been doing for many, many years?
Many, many years, absolutely.
Okay,
And
okay.
we have to do that because, you know, ours is not that big, so we have to go back and pick up more, and away we go.
Yes,
So-
if you see the brown UPS trucks,
Yep.
we usually use them to take to our destination where we
Oh,
reload,
okay.
and that is very economical.
Well, that's very good. So, is there anything over the years what's your favorite Christmas song?
I know mine, Santa. What is yours?
Well, mine is Silent Night,
Oh, that's
because when I'm done, I love to hear the song Silent Night, and I can kick up my feet and relax and take a nap.
And Mrs. Claus, what's yours?
Well, mine is, because I'm just a little bit more wild than Santa. I say jingle bells.
Well, let's hear little jingle bells there. There you go. Okay, well, again, you know, I know it's a very, very busy time of the year, and I appreciate your spending time with us here at the Star Media Studios. And over the years, I'm sure you've had children from all over come up and ask for gifts and things. And I would imagine at one time or another, you know, a young lady or a young girl would come up and maybe ask for a stethoscope. And I'm sure you'd think, well, do you want to be a nurse or something? And the girl said, well, no, I would like to grow up and be a doctor. So legend has it, and I've heard this, and you can tell me if it's true or not, that many years ago, a young boy came to one of the things here in Laverne and sat on Santa's lap and asked for a football. And of course, Santa said, well, that's a very nice gift. You want to grow up and be a football player? And what I understand is the young little boy said, well, yes, Santa, but I'd really like to grow up and be the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals of the National Football League. So is there any truth to that, or is that just a legend, or is that possible?
Yes, it's possible. With a lot of hard work, we had this young man sit on our lap, and he asked for that football, and he asked for that thing. And today, he is sitting in the chair of the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals.
Wow, so dreams do come true,
right?
And Santa and Mrs. Claus are real because they made it happen in this case.
That is true.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That about brings us to the end of this podcast. I'd like to thank our sponsors, of course, for making this possible. That's Papik Motors, Real Estate Retrievers, Sunshine Food, Sunshine Gas, Laverne Area Community Foundation, Pepsi of Pipestone, and they also sponsor our Pepsi-Cola Gatorade Sports Studio, and Functional Nutrition. Again, I would like to thank you very much. We do have a couple more podcasts coming up in the next few days. Probably in a week or so, Laura will be interviewing Sheriff Evan Verberg, and he'll be talking about holiday safety tips. And tomorrow, Mavis Fodness will be doing her first podcast with some seniors from the Laverne Area High School on their business opportunity they have coming up down the road. So stay tuned for those. It's about time to pull the pin on this production. And again, thank you very much, and Merry Christmas.
Merry
Merry Christmas.